Hello. We are live, and this time there is sound. For those of you who probably don't know, we were live about 2 minutes ago for about a good 15 minutes, and it was just absolute silence because there was no sound. Sorry about that. But anyway, today we are going to be looking at the leaks regarding 13th Doctor leaving. Obviously, we know there are a few leaks already, but this is basically the main one that we've got. And it's not really necessarily the main one, but it's probably the biggest one. So, would you like to kind of explain what's going on, Corey?
Oh, basically, there's been some uh pictures that have been um of Jodie looking kind of sad with
Yeah,
her
with the
companions.
companions.
Yeah,
Basically, the images
which
that we've seen almost show that she's leaving because if you finish filming the season or you finish filming an episode, you wouldn't be sad necessarily. You'd be more happy than sad, and it would be a different kind of sadness. But the one that we can see on screen now, and I'll make the images a little bit better, is that Jodie is exceptionally sad, and they're comforting her, including Yaz. It's not even just like Dan; it's both of them.
is
Do you think from the photos that she is leaving?
um I do. I think that's what the photo suggests.
Especially because
Which
the person who posted them, or like the images themselves, has been deleted. So unless the
yeah,
BBC, they wouldn't just go around deleting or telling someone to delete them for no reason. It's because they know that this has been leaked and like, hold on, shit. This is like, this is quite a big thing. We don't
yeah,
want this getting out. And obviously now it has. I mean, obviously, I know it says it's been deleted. If you're wondering how we got the images, I managed to quickly grab a screenshot before they got taken down off Twitter. They're probably floating around now anyway.
yeah. You could probably find them again, but
I wonder though if the thing is if she will leave maybe halfway through an episode, because if they've almost, from what we've seen regarding Dalek leaks, only recently just started filming the Dalek episode, which will no doubt be the 2022 New Year's Day special, then why is she leaving so early? They either filmed her regeneration scene early, which could make sense, but then I still think she wouldn't be as sad as she is in the photos. Or maybe it's because she regenerates towards the start or towards the middle.
yeah, which I would I would like to see that. I
It would
think
make a
it'd be
change.
something different, which would make the episode more interesting. Not saying that the episode wouldn't be interesting as it is, but it'd be a different concept
I
that
think
hasn't
because,
really been done.
yeah, because the last time that kind of, yeah, well, it hasn't happened before. I wonder though if another possibility that it could be is that she's actually leaving in the finale of season 13, and then the 14th Doctor, whether it's Joe Martin or not, is actually coming out. Like, her first episode will be the 2022 special. That'll be her or his introduction episode.
Yeah, which would be good.
I would like to see it. It
And
means we get
again,
to
it'd be
see it quicker. Because then it means when we get the new series with the next Doctor, we don't have to go like, oh, let's go through, all that again. It's kind of just you can literally get straight into it
different.
because you've done, especially if the
Yeah,
companions are
'cause you
staying.
have yeah,
Bordak
yeah,
three
'cause
one three
you
says, I
have
want to see a multi-Doctor type thing with Jodie, quite like Tice upon a time. Yeah, I think that could definitely happen with
that,
Joe Martin.
yeah,
It would explain, like, maybe
that,
something goes on and they merge or something, because it would explain why Joe Martin doesn't remember or something. It would explain a
yeah,
lot.
it would be good to see as well because it would be interesting to see those two together again
Yeah, because they were good
as
on screen
well.
before.
Yeah, just as long as um Jodie can kind of
Balance.
keep up with Joe Martin's Doctor
But then
because
again,
in the one thing before was Joe Martin kind of showed up Jodie a little bit.
if like they meet in an episode, and in the episode is when Joe Martin becomes the 14th Doctor, maybe that could be a good thing because it sets her off on like a really good start.
Mm,
It's like, look, you had this before, which is still good, but now you've got this, which is amazing.
yeah,
I do think Joe Martin will be the next Doctor.
I think it would it she makes the most sense
If it's not
out
her,
of
I will be
uh,
shocked.
yeah.
And if nothing
Um,
like to do with regenerations or multiple Doctors happens next season, I will also be shocked.
mm, yeah,
And if
I would love to see something with multiple doctors
if
in
even
the
Yaz and if Yaz doesn't leave, and even especially if John Bishop doesn't leave, then I feel like I'm never gonna get answered what this photo is, if that's the case. Because also looking at the photos, it's almost like the thing is if someone was to be sad that John was leaving, it would probably be John. And Jodie would be a different kind of sadness, and you'd see that in her face. But it's the fact that looking at the photos, you can see that he's the one comforting her.
yeah,
And same for Mandip in one of them.
uh, which yeah, and you can't. It doesn't really make sense for them to be comforting her if they're the one that's leaving.
Exactly. Someone Bordak said, or maybe an episode like the Day of the Doctor. So there's three Doctors: Jodie, the fugitive, and a previous Doctor who is before Joe Martin, or something like that. If you had to like, they could maybe do, rather than having a Doctor before Joe Martin, they could do like not like the second Doctor, who we saw briefly casted in An Adventure in Space and Time.
Yeah, yeah, it would be interesting. Um, then equally that if they're gonna have an episode with Joe Martin in it, that probably means it could have something involving the time as child, which having a previous Doctor might not necessarily work with that.
We've also not seen any though of Joe Martin on set.
True.
Harvey said, okay, Joe is probably going to be the 14th Doctor, which we agreed, but the 15th should be the Valyard, played by none other than Richard E. Grant. I don't know if maybe the Valyard should be the main focus, but it would be good to have a prominent role with the Valyard, and yeah, I agree, Richard E. Grant should play him.
Mm.
Because I'd
Mm.
like to play with the concept as well of that every Time Lord has a Valyard, not just the Doctor.
That would be interesting.
So then imagine what the Masters would bloody be like.
No,
He's bad as it is.
unless it was like the opposite and was more like the Doctor.
That could be interesting.
But,
Another thing I'd like to have is like, the Doctor's like on a planet. They're just talking towards the end of the episode or something that she's just saved, and they're like, "Oh yeah, remember that time when you done this, done that?" And she's like, "No, I didn't do that adventure." And they're like, "What?" And it's like, it's not that there's another Doctor. It's that somebody out there is pretending to be the Doctor.
mm.
And it's like, who are they? Because they're still travelling in time, but all the Time Lords are dead. She knows it's not the Master for whatever reason, and then it's like, who the hell is pretending to be the Doctor?
Yeah.
Bordak said again, maybe because Jodie is sad for him to be leaving and John isn't. John isn't emotional with it because he hasn't been in this. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because Mandip seems to be sad in a different kind of way, that she's just thinking about it, but And John was the one to comfort them, like Bordak said, because he's not been there for that long. It's not that touching for him. He was probably always signed up just for one series.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I still think it makes sense for her to be leaving, and also why the BBC would try and take the photos down, which obviously they're not going to be able to do, but
Yeah, because
they're
they've been
trying.
shared everywhere now by it. Even if I was the first person to, or the only person to grab extras, they're from this video. They're spread out.
Yeah. It is always a possibility that we are wrong.
Yeah, but
We're not saying that we're right, but it's just the thing that makes the most sense.
especially with all the other stuff that we've been talking about.
Mm.
If it was Jodie that was leaving or something, Mandip would be sad and stuff as well. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. That Mandip would be sad if Jodie was leaving, but maybe it's because, she probably said her goodbyes a lot to Jodie as well. And if this in essence, maybe this isn't necessarily their final scene together. Maybe if they've shot the regeneration scene early and Dan goes off in that, but then Yaz and the Doctor might have some more scenes to do. It could be that maybe that's why Yaz isn't that sad in the photos, or just maybe it's because it just so happens that when these photos were quickly snapped, she wasn't exactly looking incredibly sad. So maybe that's why Yaz doesn't look as sad as Jodie herself. And also, um, Yaz probably. I know obviously Yaz and the Doctor have been there for the same amount of time, but the Doctor's it's Doctor Who. It's the Doctor's show. It's Jodie's show. So even if they're both leaving, Jodie would probably feel more sad than Mandip. So, unless anyone has anything to say in the chat, then we are going to end the stream here. But I have good news in case you're wanting to stay for something else, people in the chat. First of all, the Discord link is in the description. Join for weekly watch-alongs, exclusive content, early content, and much, much more. And also, in a few minutes' time, about 5 minutes, we're going to be going live again. If you're watching this late, then we might still be live. So be sure to check it out.